Hi guys. So the Lord has given me a little bit more insight about this Otis. Now, my previous video, there were a couple audibles, and it was talking about how Danny on this show, The Blue Bloods, had approached me and told me that Otis had a weapon out back of the building. And also talking too about how the weapon would nuke millions of Americans, hotter than the sun or hiding behind the sun. I can't remember, but more on this Otis. So I was led to Daniel 11:40 through 45, and Danny on Blue Bloods is short for Daniel. And so this is where I was led. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, with horsemen, and with many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. And he shall enter into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom, and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. Now, see, right now, Egypt is trying to be neutral with Israel. They're trying to be friends. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver, and over the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and utterly to make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain, yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. And Daniel 12:1 through 3, and at that time shall Michael stand up. Now, I just had a dream about Michael and Paul and being married. So this is kind of funny. And at that time Michael will stand up, and the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall wake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars for and ever. So that's what I was led to. So I wanted to share with you guys the name Otis. Now, this is mentioned in my dream this morning, and I put it in my previous video, that Otis in Hebrew is Oz. All right, you guys, it's the name Oz. It is a Hebrew name. And of course, we know the Wizard of Oz, and it's funny because Sherry, she mentions, she'll be like, well, the Lord sent me another thing, follow the yellow brick road. You know, we got to all you have to do is believe. I mean, she talks about it all the time, like, because the Lord gives her references sometimes about it, you know. So I thought that was funny, but it's like we're wandering around in this, you know, we're not in Kansas anymore. We're in the Illuminati. Now, remember I said Otis is only the Illuminati survive. And there was even a song made by Jay-Z and Kanye West. They are Illuminati, you guys. And I've never seen or heard, I've never seen this word before, really. I haven't heard the word Otis probably since the 80s. You know, nobody's named Otis. But it means Oz, and this is what I stumbled upon also. Oz in Hebrew means strength, might, or power. I believe strength, might, power, or strength, powerful, courageous. It means strength in Hebrew. Valor, courage, strength, force, security, majesty, praise. But I'm going to tell you that the Illuminati also use this as well. They use it as, and I pulled this up, I stumbled across this, you guys. They use it as Otis or Oz in Hebrew, wisdom, strength, and beauty. And they talk about the Hebrew in here. And this is from one of the Masonic books. Okay. Research paper. So wisdom, strength, beauty. From the moment this is going to give you insight into the Mason or the Illuminati. From the moment we first stood in the northeast corner of the lodge as entered apprentice Masons, we have been taught that it is necessary that there should be wisdom to contrive, strength to support, and beauty to adorn all great and important undertakings. These are the three great supports of Masonry. Now, this is what it led me to when I looked up Oz. It led me to this Freemasonry. It talks about Solomon. We know that wisdom represents the East and the master of the lodge and is symbolized by the Doric column. Now, I've been in these Masonic lodges, many Masonic lodges, you guys, because my daughter was a rainbow girl. And it's amazing what the Lord leads you through in your life, to show you things. But she had to travel around. She went to Las Vegas. She went to all these places. She had to learn her lines out of this little book and do ritual, like ground footwork. Like you're only able to walk in a certain way into the lodge. And there were chairs that looked like king and queen chairs. Like she was given the position of charity. So she had to sit in the east side of the building. It's just crazy, you guys. And it did have the Masonic symbol with the pyramid and stuff. Once you reach Grand Charity or or something like that, I don't know. I started getting weirded out about it, but the lodge is very important, and everything set up in the lodge has a meaning, and every way you walk in the lodge has a meaning, and every place you sit in the lodge has a meaning. So, and they have this weird altar in there. It's weird. But the lodge is symbolized by the Doric column as it combines the beauty of the Corinth with the strength of the Doric. Solomon is represented in speculative Masonry as the type or representative of wisdom due to the character given to him in the first book of Kings. Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the East Country and all the wisdom of Egypt, for he was wiser than all men. Then Ethan and Ezephite and Heman and Chakal and Darda, the sons of Mahal, and his fame was in all the nations round about. That's what they always say, round about. And the rainbow round about. It's creepy. Okay. Strength is represented, and that makes what we just read here about Solomon is really weird, because I know there's some people that do videos and they reference Solomon and they reference wisdom and they reference it as the Heavenly Mother and stuff like that. And you guys, the Heavenly Mother and wisdom and all that, that's not, you guys have to realize that it's connecting back to the Illuminati. It's connecting back to idol worship and Satan. It's really bad, you guys. Solomon was not, anyway. Strength is represented in the symbol lodge by the senior warden and the Doric column. And then it talks about Hiram and Tyre becomes the architect for strength because of the assistance he rendered by providing the men and materials needed for constructing the temple. Now we're talking about a temple. Beauty, we were told, is represented by junior warden as it symbolizes the meridian sun. See the sun. The most beautiful object in the heavens. They worship the sun. And by the Corinthian column as it is the most beautiful of the ancient orders of architecture. The archetype becomes Hiram Abiff, the widow's son, due to the great debt owed him by his skill in decorating the temple. Now we just found out, I just shared a video of what the Supreme Court in Israel looks like. It is Masonic. Jacob's Rothschild built the Supreme Court in Jerusalem, and it is everything to do with Masonry and Illuminati, and on the outside it has the pyramid, the all-seeing eye. It just goes on. I'll put a link in it for you guys too. And then there's some other things that stood out to me. The Masonic altar, blah, blah, blah. He governs the festivities of the lodge when it is free from labor so that the preservation of harmony and order may be secured, thus creating the beauty of the Masonic Society. The jewels are worn by the principal officers in the lodge, and their stations in the lodge illustrate wisdom, strength, and beauty. So here we're going back to Oz and to Otis, and Otis is in the back. Otis means wealth, too, and Otis is in the back of the building with a weapon that's going to cause great destruction. It's talking about the square of morality in the east, the level of equality in the west, and the plumb of rectitude in the south. Denote the close relationships of the triangle of leadership. Now they're looking at a triangle. The ancients who began this system knew, ancient people began. The strongest structural design was based in the triangle. It has the greatest of strength due to the sum of its three sides. They were also deeply aware of its mystical powers from the number 3. So it goes on and on. It's just like, ugh. The Hebrew word dabar means wisdom. The Hebrew word Oz means strength, and the Hebrew word Gomar means beauty. The Hebrews have great significance not only to their words, but also to the letters that form them. If we take the first letter of each of the former words, we find that the Hebrew letter D in dabar, corresponding to the fourth letter of the Western alphabet, is a letter dalet, signifying the door of life. The representation of this in its original hieroglyph was probably graphic of a symbol rectangle as a door frame, and typified by the Greeks as the opening of a tent in the delta illustration. The letter O from Oz corresponds with the 15th letter of the Western alphabet and was called by the Hebrews and the Phoenicians Ain, that is I, and was illustrated in the primitive form of the Phoenician letter as a rough picture of an eye or a circle with a dot in the center. So the letter G, it was really weird. I had this dream that I was shooting like in this gunfire, and I had this gun and I was running down the street. It was so weird. Anyway, the third sacred name of God in Hebrew is Gadal, or in Latin, Magnus, or mighty. Now check this out, you guys. If we take the words of wisdom, strength, and beauty in Hebrew and use the first letter of each we have, D for Dabar is wisdom, O for Oz, strength, and G for Gomer, beauty, it spells dog. How many dreams have I put up about dogs? I even heard audibles in my dream about dogs, wild dogs running through my garden. And then the Lord told me to stretch my hand out and rebuke it. If we closely look, we can see how Masonry conceals their secrets from those not yet ready to receive them. For by reversing the order of the letters, we find the name of the supreme architect of the universe, or God. It is a singular coincidence and worthy of thought that this should occur, and presents almost the reason that we can reconcile a Freemason to use the initial G in its conspicuous suspension in the east of the lodge. That's why they have that Masonic compass with the G in the middle. So Hebrew letters signifying the three names of God, the all-seeing eye, or the evergreen sprig of the acacia tree, or the door to life, is in reality the deity himself, and to truly succeed in our labors in the lodge, and also when in the world, we must have his wisdom to contrive, his strength to support us, and his beauty to enable us to adorn all great and important undertakings. So, yeah. I'm sure this came out of one of their little books that they have, because when my daughter was a rainbow girl, she had a little blue little book so she had to memorize stuff out of. And it was really weird, you guys. It was like being in a cult or something until I finally put my foot down, and my daughter was like, I don't want to be in this anymore. I was like, okay. It seems fun because you're all dressed in these fluffy dresses, and, you know, the Eastern Stars, they sew the dresses for the girls, and they do community service, and, you know, they feed the poor, you know, that type of stuff. But it's really bad stuff, guys. So now we can see that this Illuminati, the DOG, or, DOG, GOD, it's all in the pyramid, and it traces back to Oz. They're using Hebrew words, letters and words here. It's just crazy, you guys. And then check this out. Look what I seen. Remember my dream? Where is it? Let's look at this. Hold on. Where is it? Look. This right here. Look what came out. President Trump honors Native American code talkers, Elizabeth Warren. I was blown away, you guys, because when I had the dream about the Native American princess getting married and the guy giving her a dowry, you guys, that man, I thought it was Jesus at first. I don't know, you guys. It might have a double meaning, but Indian warrior chief princess, that represents America. And the man that she was marrying had blonde hair like Trump. And he was putting a war chief headband on her. And that symbolizes war and America. And Trump he was honoring her with a dowry, you guys. And look at this. President Trump honors Native American code talkers, Elizabeth Warren. And we were in San Francisco. The wedding was in San Francisco, okay? Elizabeth Warren does her thing in San Francisco. That's where she's stationed at, I believe. Or one of them is. I think it's Elizabeth Warren. Or was it the other lady always flapping her mouth? I can't remember, but look at her. She has the Indian headband on without the feathers, and she has some, I don't know, I'll have to watch it, but this just popped up. You guys, we are so close. We are so close to going home. And in my dream, as that wedding was taking place, they said their vows, and the dowry was put on her head, and that plumage popped up over her head, and it was a war chief headband, and he put some shawl or something around her. And next scene, I was walking in to this other room, and there were 2 rows of brides in white pure dresses. And I looked over, and I seen this lady sitting in a booth, you guys. Booths, or Feast of Tents, or booths, or tabernacles, whatever. And she beckoned me to come over. And no sooner, it only took a couple seconds to walk over to her. And I looked back over, and those brides were gone. While Trump's in there having war. I mean, the guy kind of looks like Trump. He had the weird, like, orangey yellow hair and the really white skin. I remember thinking, wow, okay, he's marrying a Native American. And he was honoring her with a dowry. That's us. America. Native Americans. And then this pops up. So, the brides are gone. War, breaks out in rapture. They're already gone. By the time I looked over there, I seen a little flower girl skipping out the door. And they were going to the wedding feast. The after party. And then I turn this on. I'm sitting here thinking about Oz and, all this stuff. And Otis is Oz, and then Oz is Hebrew, Illuminati, and then I look over here and I see President Trump honors Native American code talkers and Elizabeth Warren. And then I thought immediately about the Morse code. I remember Kim was talking about how she heard Morse code. And then like the same day or a couple days before that, around the same time period, I had happened to turn this movie on, and it was all in Russian. And it was about a girl that was born with hair all over her body, and she lived above a conductor master of a train station. It took place in the 1800s, and the master of the train station kept her up there and hid her away, and the only way she could talk was Morse code. So we got the trains, We got the conductor. We got Morse code. We got Russia. You can't make this stuff up. I know it sounds weird, but we are getting so close to going home. And then I look up, we're looking at Christmas trees in December. I don't know, you guys. I mean, will we even be here another year? If we're here next Christmas, I won't know what to think. I really will not know what to think. And then I just heard today that Israel is getting ready to blow up some military base of Syria because Netanyahu had warned if anybody makes a military base outside of Israeli walls within this certain distance, they're done. We're taking you out. It's war. Well, guess what? Syria just did exactly what Netanyahu told them not to do. And all these places are, getting ready to bomb Israel. Ay, you guys. The Lord needs us to tell people about him and tell people about the gospel of grace and love and mercy. Tell people about Jesus Christ and what he did for them and that he offers forgiveness and that he will save them. If they repent and call out to them, he will save them. And we don't have a lot of time. I hear a train horn blowing right now, you guys. We don't have a lot of time. I don't know if there was something else. I don't know. This video is so long, but I just want to... Yeah, there it is. Hebrew word for Otis. Oz. Crazy, huh? All right. I love you guys. And I'm telling you, tell everybody you can. Because the time is running out. And also, too, I was laying here in bed. I heard this boom in the spirit. It was like a sonic rumbling boom. It was... my eyes flew up and I was like, what was that? So, war is coming. Get prepared. Get prayed up. Tell people about Jesus. And I love you guys.